start sharing the screen. And so we're ready to start. So, as I was saying, it's so good to see you once again, especially you who are very much involved in the EURES training academy. So the way you are committed, it's always a pleasure, and also it is a good opportunity not only for you, for yourself, but also for your colleagues. And this is you are one of the most important part of the network. Let me show you the agenda for today. After the welcome, I would like to show you some feedback, just some percentages on the last semester. I don't want to scare anybody. The feedback were very good, so don't worry. Then we will discuss about the role of the EURES trained expert, and we will have a small focus on the table of competences. We will see that in a minute. Also, because we'll ask you for your support, even with new colleagues, but we'll see that in detail. 2 coffee breaks, and then after the first one, we will discuss about the new PowerPoint slides of the EURES communication strategy, and how we encourage you to create new materials by using the templates we are using so far, the one you can see right now. One of the most, let's say, new points on this agenda is the travel procedure of the second semester 2022. So these are the suggestions we have received from many of you, and you know, things are quite changed compared to the pandemic, the pre-pandemic situation, and of course even the way of traveling has been slightly modified. And since there are new rules, there are new ways of working and traveling together, we would like to show you. You will be the first one to see these new rules and procedures. Of course, they will be shared with the training coordinators and so on. It is a matter of fact that this session was already planned for this moment, and you are a good pool of people, and you can help us by sharing these new procedures. After the second coffee break, we would like to have a breakout room session with your support. You have seen on the invitation letter and homework with 3 agendas of upcoming workshop we'll have, and we would like to ask you for your support by reshaping these agendas to see if there are some new information, new things you would like to add, to include. So we're going to ask for your opinion. Of course, do consider this aspect. This new agenda will be shared with the European Labour Authority, so as well as every workshop or session that we have, this one will be reported to ECHO and to the European Labour Authority. Then your contribution will be sent to the European Labour Authority for approval. Well, I shouldn't even consider these housekeeping rules, but you know, these are the rules, and I have to share also these slides. So please keep the microphone on mute to avoid background noise. Activate the video, see participants in the meeting, chat, raise your hand. Please ask and be involved in the discussion. It's not something I should even mention, since we all know you very, very well. You know how active and how great you are in supporting us. So, but anyway, let's move on. So starting with the feedback on the last semester. Okay, so it's a very quick slide, very easy. These are the percentages, as you can see, of the feedback provided to the EURES trained expert as an average. okay, we have three elements to consider. We always ask people to consider three elements. So the expertise of the training expert, the clarity of exposition and communication skills, and the availability to participants. As you can see here, availability to participants is at 92%. So 92% of people said you are very available to participants. And this is very important too. Regarding clarity of exposition and communication skills, we have an 89%, which is still good, of course. Perhaps what we can identify from this number is that, of course, the way of expressing in a different language, of course, may be tricky for some participants, and maybe someone may not be so familiar with English, and especially from different accents or or different expression how to say things in another manner. So, but still, this is a very good number, as well as expertise. Please do not consider, even if this is a lower rate, we do consider this one as quite good. Of course, there is something we may be able to do here to reinforce this number, and this is something we would like to work on, especially to share something better to colleagues. Exactly, Anna Maria, thank you. This is an incentive for improvement. This is why we would like to share these numbers, these percentages with you, especially because, of course, we know EURES trainings are considered a way of sharing knowledge and in particular to networking with colleagues. But of course, the most important necessity here is to enrich expertises and new ways of working. So this is something we would like to work on in the future. Very quick wrap up of what are the roles. So the way of sharing best cases and be an inspiration would be the key in general. So what do we mean about best cases? Of course, usually you are the first in line to share new ways of working, successful cases, and after that we do have the following presentation from each country. So you are the first one in line in ice breaking in particular, and this of course affect the way we share with colleagues. So it is very important in this case to be in line with what you are saying, to be prepared, but also the way you manage the tool, for example, it's extremely important. So of course it's important, and of course we are always available to support you when there is some need to share a PowerPoint slide. Maybe the PPT is not working. We are always available to manage the tool for you, but this of course may be a sort of incentivation for the other colleagues, the way you show how things can be managed and in an easily way, and also the way how you express yourself. It is always important. I'm reading also on the chat at the end, is an 87% of expertise. I would really like to be that level of expertise. Thank you, Daniela. Yeah, exactly. I mean, but to be frank, to be honest, these are very good numbers. So we are very proud of these numbers, and we can see people are very welcoming trainings. Of course, I anticipate there will be a reshaping in the future of trainings in catalogs, not only on the design of PowerPoint slides, but every training will be very much different. So we have received many suggestions from you. So the way also to modify and to enrich our colleagues must be done by us, by you, by the communication strategies all together. Then, of course, it's important to support individuals within a group in understanding the common objectives. So, especially for the first trainings, there are many new colleagues, a lot of colleagues, very young, very fresh, let's say, and it's very important to let them understand how things are done, if there are some rules, if there are some procedures, but also to let them understand what is the feeling we have, what are the goals within each training we have. So this is also a support we kindly ask you, because you are very much in contact with colleagues, of course. Not only some of you are training coordinators, but also you are they may be your daily colleagues, their working colleagues. So you can support us in this way. Then also by helping people collectively more through a process. This is what I mean also, by let them understand what is the goal, what is the purpose. I'm talking in particular about the consolidation phase workshop or the awarding event. If you remember, we do have every year the awarding event, which is the final workshop for those colleagues who have already filled one of the pathway within the training catalog. And usually what we would like to do is to create a joint session. Usually it happens on December if we have a good pool of number, by connecting the the consolidation people and the awarding event. So to merge let's say, the one who have attended a lot of trainings with the new ones. And this is always, it's been always successful. And we would like to encourage you to share more and more. Then to structure conversation and apply the appropriate group facilitation technique. We have discussed quite a lot of group facilitation techniques, but please, if you think you need something more, some suggestion, please, we are always here at your disposal to welcome you, and with any request where possible, or a new suggestion on how to engage people. So for example, if you come saying, well, Emanuele, I would like to show people something, this video, or I would like to create something with a new PowerPoint template. I don't want to use that one. Please, can you help me by understanding how can I express myself? Well, we are here at your disposal, so do not worry. If you want to try something new, it's more than welcome. Okay. Of course, if there are questions and comments, please raise your hand. And so we also would like to know your opinion on these topics. Okay. Then, okay, foster participation, get people to come up with ideas, thoughts, and perspectives. This is also part of usually the brainstorming moments that we have. We know the European Laboratory Authority, ECHO, is now, they really want to know the opinion of the EURES advisor, really. So they are asking so many reports on how people feel trainings, what kind of trainings they would like to have, what is the role of the EURES train expert, how you are working. So really, the way you support people during brainstorming time, it is very important, because you have the experience to support them, and by doing so, we can create something really effective, like the EURES in Action event we have done in Rome. We had a lot of new things that can be developed, and ECHO really want to try to do something new. Then get all individuals in the room to feel like they are in a group with a shared interest. I mean, this is something I shouldn't even mention, but of course, it's perhaps a reminder is always good. Any comment on that?
I think you gave a good explanation and adjustment for this, so thank you.
Thank you,
We're
Henny.
definitely having a shared interest here, so don't worry. Everything's moving fine.
Thank you, Anna. So some very quick on this. So some very small suggestion here. Let's try to consider all aspects and actors involved, in particular the audience. It's true, Anna, you said that the interest is common most of the times, but it's also true we have new colleagues from new members and partners, and it is important to be in line with these expectations, and especially with the way of working may be different. So it's very important to be sure we are all together in the same page. So let's try to develop also a detailed playbook and clear slides. So this is why we would like to show you now the new communication strategy. We will also share the deck here.
Wykazał, a Lublin będzie miał niewykonany.
Hello.
No to nadwyżka nie boli, nie?
Let's try to
Niewykonanie planu.
mute participants. So thank you very much. You know, because sometimes it happens. Then let's try to interact frequently with the audience. We have a lot of engaging tricks on how to ask people for a request. I can simply ask someone, Jean-Pierre, for example, what do you think about these new these rules that we are creating here? Is it something new to you? What do you think, Jean-Pierre? Can pick up someone randomly. And sometimes it's not successful because there are technical issues also, I'm afraid. I can also ask Martin, for example, the same thing. Martin, do you agree with this information we are providing you? Is it something new to you? Sorry, Martin, the microphone, I think. Okay, the microphone is not working, I'm afraid. Never mind. Let's move on. I can ask maybe, sorry. You should ask by Jean-Christophe, exactly. I don't find Jean-Pierre. Oh, sorry, I read that was my bad, I'm afraid. So Jean-Christophe, are you here? Can you hear us? Anyway, Martin just said, sorry, the sun is not working. Yeah, it's not about absolutely new for me. So we are happy to see this is something, this is not something coming up from the moon. So also the way of giving clear instruction and sense making and scheduled follow-up, which means to share contacts with your colleagues, because of course you are a very first point in this case. So always important. We are always there, but of course, most of the things we do provide are theoretical, and you are in line over there to support colleagues as a practical point of view. I'm reading, Gloria, we could connect the role of EURES brain expert with the best competence to develop this role. Exactly. This is what I mean. Thank you, Gloria. As way of the way of changing approach and tools. So the moment you would like to propose us some new tools or some new activities, we are always welcoming these new ones.
Well, sorry.
Yeah.
Interrupt
please.
you, Emmanuel. Maybe for as steers advisor, we can improve our communication skills. Like let's say like we can do like a seminar or some sessions in order to improve our communication skills, not only in on-site way, but also in an online one. So maybe I don't know if this is possible. If you can, if you, I mean, your Ernst & Young can provide us such kind of training. Thank you.
This is something doable, of course. This is something we can propose. Of course, every suggestion must be approved firstly by ECHO. So, but this is something doable. I think it's not no big deal in that. So yeah, I read. You're trying to practice the interact frequently with the audience. We need to help exactly. I can hear you and see you, but the first camera was not working. Okay, so no problem, Martin. Okay, something happened. We saw that with the link we sent you. Anna Margarita, please.
Yeah, just a question, just to make sure I understand clearly. So regarding the thunderstorm signs, schedule follow-up sessions, share contact. Do you have any specific idea here about this, or because this is something I may find a little bit different from what we did so far, but the meaning of follow-up sessions, so after the training.
Yeah, this is
that what you mean?
Usually, this is something we ask to add to the experts also. It doesn't mean
Sharing
to
contact, yes, of course.
Yeah,
but,
sharing contact is something very important. Follow-up sessions, some experts, some professor, for example, they do share contacts, email, for example, so they would like to know something more on how things have mastered, let's say, the topics. For example, this happened in particular because a professor would like to know, to have some researches on how things have been shared and how things can be developed in a better way. So we saw this was something very useful because it helps groups to stick with the material that has been shared. So, and we encourage you to share personally your contacts and to have a, let's say, a virtual follow-up. It doesn't mean you need to have another meeting, of course, but something to drive people. Is it clear now?
to keep ourselves available if there is any need for further. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Exactly.
I understand.
Thank you. Okay. So I would like to move to another topic now, which is the table of competencies here. If you remember here, every year, usually on December, we do have this specific survey we send you, which is the survey on train experts competencies. These are the points, the 9 points we ask you to focus on, and we ask you to evaluate yourself in these competencies. So we have matching and recruitment, services to job seekers, stakeholders engagement, services to employers, communication and promotion, IT tools, which is EURES portal, EJD platform, IBM Watson Media, OBS. So a good pool of things that must be used when having EOJD session, social security and taxation, recognition of qualification and regulation professions, and lastly, EU sources for job mobility. So target mobility schemes, European problems. Yeah, thank you, Anna Margarita, for raising this aspect, this point. Let me cover that because it's very important. Yes, IBM Watson Media at the moment is not available because the European Labour Authority is having some difficulties with the new license. So they told us, of course, in the future, this is the tool they should use also for EJD session somehow. So this is something we are keeping at the moment, but we are waiting the following semester for additional information, of course. Then OBS is the streaming channel, the one usually we use for even for webinars and EJD sessions. It's the EURES spot, but not an issue for the sorry. Can you clear this one?
I will just clarify, and sorry for my quick reaction, and just move on, because actually the fact is that regarding EOGD, actually it's no longer the EURES team to stream the events, and actually we're even using Teams and other tools at the moment. So this is why in the previous sessions for EOGD workshops, I've insisted that it wouldn't make that much sense for us to lose time with that, because we won't do it in the end. So, but it's something. It's very specific, and apologies for interrupting you. Okay, sorry.
No, absolutely.
It's
This is very important, especially because you always supported us during EOJD workshops, so you know better than me, I think, how things.
Yeah, don't worry.
done.
Just move on. Sorry for that.
Thank you. So I was saying regarding the table of competencies, we asked you for a couple of things. In particular, first thing first, we will launch on December, I think, a new survey to evaluate your knowledge, but also we invite you, of course, to ask to previous colleagues who were already before EURES trained expert to do once again, to fill once again the survey, because the pool is reducing every year, and we do need, of course, we will have even this year train the trainers, which is the one of the funniest, I think, trainings we do provide. I really like train the trainers. Aaron Mood, he helped me last year too. It's very engaging, the way how you create a connection with colleagues is very important. But still, we need more EURES trained expert, and the one who were already having part into the academy. Some of them are not filling anymore the survey, so we really need to fill once again this pool. So it will be very important for us to ask you for your support in first of all, to fill once again very clearly this survey, to evaluate correctly your experience in each role, in each topic, let's say. And then it would be very important to share as much as possible information with colleagues on the survey in particular, and also to suggest people wishing to become a EURES trained expert to ask the training coordinator to take part to the following Train the Trainers workshop, because I repeat myself, the list is reducing. So some people, of course, which is something we can understand, that are leaving the network. Some others are relocated to other type of jobs. It's something pretty normal, we would say. But of course, we need to provide a pool of experts. And in particular, in some competency, we have a shortage. I would say, for example, regarding IT tools, which is, let's consider in particular the way of using EURES portal and IGD platform in this sense, but also the new extranet. Now we will provide also trainings regarding the new revamped extranet. But still, let's consider these topics here. Then social security and taxation issues. This is something, this is a hot trend. We know there are still every time new laws to apply. We saw, for example, on the road transport sector, there are things to be implemented. So now we have this big trend for remote workers, which is not 100% clear. So neither the European Labour Authority is very clear on this. So there are no clear indication on that. This is, but in this case, nevertheless, it is very important to have some support in these specific topics. So services to employers, services to job seekers. I think all of you are very good in these ones because these are the mainly tasks. These are the mainly tasks in your job. Something quite different is stakeholders engagement and cooperation. So usually we do ask to some colleagues in particular, but how do we ask? In particular, by reading on the notes. For example, if there is a training coordinator or a national coordinator very good in creating new engagement with new partners or new members, and then in that way we know that, or maybe we realize that by reading on the news, the monthly news, something engaging. So by doing so, well, in that case, we try to see, well, that's a good person, someone fitting in this specific training. But it is very important also to be clear how you are a champion, let's say, in a specific sector. So we can also better address our trainings. Also, because it's very important, especially for workshops, like webinar and final sessions, the one regarding the virtual training courses, especially the enhanced trainings. They do have a 30 minutes presentation from your side, and we would like to tailor-made as much as possible these type of trainings, because talking out loud, for example, understanding labor market, which is a very interesting virtual training. Of course, it's very theoretical and it needs to have something practical and a particular focus on something. And the topic is very broad. So labor market, it's something huge. So we can understand how to better focus on something specific would be also useful for colleagues. I do remember a colleague from Spain in 2019. She shared something regarding female unemployment rates. And this was something really much appreciated. So if you are able to address the specific topic in a very specific manner, that would be very important. So I encourage you to write down on the notes on the survey everything that may be useful to us to understand if you are good or not in that. And to be 100% sure this is clear, here it is. Here you can see the detail information. Don't worry, you will receive the slides, so you will be able to see better. I anticipate, Jan, the answer, the question, because I always know it's this is okay, it's so small, you know, you're right. I know that. This is something, the deck, you will receive the deck, so you will be able to see and to read once again carefully how to better address and how to better answer your the survey. Hello? Okay, never mind. So just something to stress, I would like to say, in particular, recognition of qualification and regulation professions here. This is something very fluid. So, for example, the key resources of the network may be very flexible and they vary from country to country. So in that case, it might be useful also to share something from a specific country, some specific, I don't know, source a country may have, because it may be helpful to reproduce something effective in another country. So it doesn't matter if you are having something from from a specific location. It doesn't matter. The moment this trend is very effective, it is always welcome to share. Let's send the invitation request for the trainers, not too short term. I could, okay, thank you, Martin. Notice this is something we always provide. I repeat myself because we had this regarding the invitation letter here. Let me stress also this aspect. Regarding live online session, we do as a rule have the mandatory request by ECHO to send the invitation letter 2 weeks before the session. If you think this is not enough, of course, we will discuss about it maybe in the next training coordinator session on September. We're welcome to share in advance. It's not no big deal in our situation. Okay, we are just following the rules in this case. And what else? If you are talking about the classroom trainings, no matter if they are physical or live online, the invitation letter must be sent 6 weeks in advance before the training starts. And we are basically sticking to these times. We only have one slight delay at the very beginning of the year, this year, because of course we had to create, there was a new contract coming in. I don't bother you with these technicalities, but of course, since we had the shutdown of the EURES template, let's say on the extranet, we also had to create the new survey for the new call for applicants via Qualtrics. This is something we will always have via Qualtrics, also because it's easier and more effective. And because of that, of course, Ella was aware there was let's say an interruption, more or less. So of course, in that, but we were lucky because trainings were all online, so no big deal in that. But in the as from the following semester, classroom trainings 6 weeks before the starting day, live online sessions 2 weeks before. Of course, as a general rule, you all know, unless there are some delays, you know, for example, from the calendar, at what date, in what data a specific training should take place. So the moment you know a participant is enrolled in that specific training, and usually every semester we provide a list of participants to training coordinators. So this is a list that should be shared, but people know on that specific date that there should be a specific training. So more or less we know when the date it is. So, but I repeat myself, we can discuss about this thing with training coordinators later on. So regarding the table of competences, I repeat myself, we kindly ask you to help us by identifying new colleagues wishing to become an expert. And also we ask you attention by filling this survey, because of course we need to know better where we can, where expert may be useful in specific topics. And also we ask you to encourage people who were in principle EURES trained expert to reapply, to refill the survey, because it's very important to have a very big pool of experts where we can pick. Are there any questions? Okay, I see nodding. Okay. So very quickly, let me go to the what time is it? 10:17. I think we are. Sorry, Hani. Yeah.
Yeah, just a question. There was a lot of in the surveys, a lot of comment on having trainings online and not on site, of course, due to the COVID problems. That is understandable. But why do you know why there are not so many offers for classroom trainings for the next half year this year? Is it something that the Commission has decided, or the training providers, or what? Do you know
Yeah,
something about that?
sure. I can spoil this question. Thank you for asking. So usually what we saw in line with ECHO was that, of course, the pandemic situation is not over. In particular, many countries have different rules. We saw, for example, in during the EURES in Action event in Rome, Bulgaria, for example, didn't come because, of course, they still have some internal rules, travel difficulties, and so on. So because of that, we have scheduled, let's say, the training catalog for the next semester in order to be as flexible as possible, let's say, and we have identified the trainings that should be, I wouldn't say necessary, but they are more welcome to be attended on site than online. So I'm talking about EOJD workshop, which is of course something of course very technical, and you need laptop, computer over there, and a good indication. So we saw the way it is approached online or on site, it's very different. Train the trainers, yeah, practical hands-on. Thank you, Anna Margherita. Then train the trainers. It is a training, of course, that needs to be done on site. It's more welcome to have it on site. What else? We had two consolidation phase workshops. The first one in September will be online, since of course some colleagues are not able to travel at the moment, and the second one would be online on December. Because of that, we have tried to balance the two things. Of course, we would love to have every training on site, but
Sorry, Emanuele,
these are requests
this
to, yeah, please.
December is also online?
No, on site. December
okay.
will be on site. So
Just
these
to
are,
make it clear.
yeah, thank you. These are, because of that, we would like to balance, the type of training someone wish to attend in both the ways, so on site or online. We hope we'll receive a good pool of application, of course, but even in the past, total numbers were not so reduced, I would say. So we are also proud of that. Even if some classroom training have been reduced, virtual trainings were largely attended. So we are positive also on that.
Thank you for clarification, Emanuele.
No problem. Now I would like to, yeah, Gabriela, hi.
Hello, could you hear me, please?
Yeah.
I just want to make one short observation. On the Inside EURES newsletter, it is written that the EOGD workshop will be on site on 8-10 October, while in the catalog is written in November. As the newsletter received many participants, this should be checked.
I will check on that. Thank you.
Okay, this is, thank you.
What is important to know is that, of course, the training catalog should be correct. So no problem. But I will send you an information on that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other question? Any comment?
And please also to all training coordinators, okay? Because if it's
Sure,
different,
sure.
at least if it's different, because
No problem. No problem. Okay. Let's grab a cup of coffee for the next 15 minutes. Okay. And then we will continue with the following parts. Enjoy your coffee. Hello once again. So let's continue with the second part of the session. Let me share once again.
Hi, Tove.
hi.
Hi.
Okay, I think you should be able to see now the presentation. So talking about the way we would like to modify the trainings, I'm pretty sure you are all familiar with the new communication strategy, especially some of you, you are sort of champion in communication. Because of that, we contact you very often for our trainings. In particular, this is the new EURES branding, and I will ask also my colleague Federico, sorry for the names. Today, I don't know what I have with the names, to share the template, the PowerPoint template. If you are not able to check out on the EURES Extranet, we'll provide you here a template you can find. It can be useful for the future, the one you can use for the future presentations. As you can see here, we were in the last year, we were in the middle of the implementation process with a brand mood presented and discussed in the communication working group in April. And then it set out the concept, the look and the feel rules to use the EURES logo, the EURES logo versioning. We know at the moment the EURES logo is still the same, even if I have to admit, during the event in Rome, especially in group in services to youth, Kevin helped us launching the idea of a new reshape of the logo, which was something very effective.
Hello, Rachel.
I will mute participants, sorry. And which was something very appreciated by colleagues. So to have a new reshape of the logo would be a fantastic idea. Even the OGD identifier remains unchanged. So what is important to notice here is regarding the drivers and the brand personality. So something with more movement and change, a new experience, like a new start, with something future oriented, with professionalism, something more professional somehow, as well as the way of creating the idea, the sense of European feeling and a multilinguistic environment. Something to become more and more helpful and supportive, accessible, and so on. We would like to stress here the new palette, the new colors here. We saw that we have more colors here, and you can find the everything on the template. My colleague Federico will share via chat in a moment. So of course the main colors are of course the European colors, so blue and yellow. But of course we can use the secondary colors here, depending of course on the topic. We would like to stress, of course, even talking about the things are approached, they may have different colors, something that may be more engaging depending on the topic. Regarding the brand identity, here we have graphic elements to, yeah, Katarina, please.
Sorry, it's nothing with the content, but you said that your colleague will send the link via chat. I don't have access to chat within the Teams. I don't know. This is always the issue with my Teams. I don't have the license, so I'm just using links via app.
Federico is also sharing via email, so
okay,
no problem. You will receive via email.
Thank you, thank you.
No problem. You see here, for example, there are graphical elements, and these are the main shapes, more or less. The idea would be bringing together of job seekers and employers and allow a versatile holder shape for every output. So of course the two elements you see here, employers, job seekers, and the generic one, can be rearranged and scaled and rotated, but the shape must be not edited. somehow. So even rounded arrows is an additional element that can be used across many outputs to show a sort of movement. I encourage not to use too many fluid PowerPoint presentations. So meaning that not too many interaction arrows coming up, because it will be usually it's not very well considered or not very appreciated. Anna Margarita, has anyone found out in this new template how to add the number of pages? We will check on that. Personally, I didn't try in the last presentation I have created, but we will check on this. No problem.
I tried for several times and it didn't work really. Even changing in the module, the model view, I tried and it's not showing up. So the automatic number of pages. Okay, thank you.
Regarding PowerPoint template, which is the main topic, of course, for us here, you will see also the cover example here. Federico will share this template where you can find cover examples. And but we would like to send you something more in the future too. So not only the one you will see, but so I think you will receive additional templates also in the future. They have to be reshaped. So we are waiting for additional slides in the future. So this won't be just the only template you will receive. You can see here the section cover, the inner slide with graph. You will see the template has a page devoted to graphs and percentages. The one, for example, I show you at the very beginning of the session here, you can use that one, and it's very easy and intuitive to create data, trend, and statistics in that sense. I do prefer personally to the blue and the yellow ones, Miriam. I have to agree with you, but we do have the chance to use these new colors. Regarding the co-branding, in case there are colleagues coming from different organizations, of course, or in our case, being the training provider, you know, the training provider is EY Advisory Italy and VVA Brussels, our colleagues on the contract. It is possible to include another logo, and of course it's every time it's welcome. So, but in that case here, you can see the indication on where to include the logo next to the EURES one. So usually the EURES one should be on the bottom right corner of the slides, but it is possible also to edit the template by including additional logos when possible. So also, for example, the moment you wanna include, you would like to include a national logo or a partner logo, well, there is still the chance to do so. Are there any yeah, editable? I'm reading. You will see on the PowerPoint template Federico shared. You can try to edit also, and at the top right corner where you can include also the additional logos. Yeah, Peter, hi.
Hello, good morning. I have a question about the photos on the background. You see a woman with 2 children and 2 people. Is that also, we could put on our own photos, or is that pre-made? Sure. Because if I'm talking about Social Security, maybe some photos are less, are a bit off topic. Or can we use our own photos?
Absolutely, no problem. Okay. Well, I wouldn't even mention that unless there is something offensive, of course, but it's something, something I shouldn't even mention. I know it's not something offensive. In that case, the template you will receive with photos and and it's something already done by the communication contractor. But of course, feel free to include to add any kind of picture you prefer. Yeah, Anna Margherita, hi.
Yeah, actually, I was saying I've done it already because a couple of the pictures which were used, maybe it's not that easy. We know that in terms of communication, this works with identification. And since EURES has a very specific focus for now, at least, I would say that, for instance, some of the images are used for Asian faces, which we're not discriminating anybody, but in terms of identification, usually you should use images which are a little bit more linked to the type of community that you have. So this is one of the situations. And also for the employer template, it's a nice lady with nice teeth. You can see her canines, but she's happy, so she's probably a happy employer, but I'm not sure whether it is the most suitable picture for an employer's template. But so yes, definitely we have changed it, Peter, by the way.
Sure, no problem on that, of course. Feel free to modify. We are just sharing what what a communication contractor just shared with us, but of course feel free to modify as you prefer. In any case, we always ask you to share with us in advance the PowerPoint templates you would like to use well in advance, I would like to say, so we are also able to have a look at it and then in case just to modify something. Moving on, I would like to point out now the part regarding travel procedures. So these are basically we would like to anticipate some questions you may have already. You are the first one on the network to know about these travel procedures. And of course, these things will be shared with the training provider on September, where we will have the training coordination workshop. So we will, of course, try to include on the call for applicants and on the invitation in each training, of course, these travel procedures. Also because we would like to avoid some issues that may happen. As you know, of course, things changed after pandemic situation, and also as an administrative part and point of view, things change. So of course you will receive the usual ticket, no problem, but still there are small modifications. Let me see. We have tried to, as I said, we have tried to anticipate some questions here. First of all, where are you traveling from? We will send on the call for applicants for the next semester. We have sent on the call for applicant for the next semester to ask where is your starting point. If you are not, you or your colleagues are not sharing the precise starting point, what we will consider as a starting point will be the place of current employment. This is something agreed. Of course, bear in mind all this information are agreed with the European Labour Authority. So this is not just EY is inventing rules somehow. Well, on the other hand, regarding national coordination offices, these are responsible for running the pre-selection of candidates at national level. So the suggestion, so let me get it straight through to the process. What we do is launching the call for applicants every semester. We receive the pool of applications. We try to satisfy every request, of course, when possible. There are colleagues wishing to apply to, I would say, every type of training. It is not possible to satisfy every request. Also because, bear in mind, we one of the rules we have is to from ELA, of course, is to have a classroom environment as heterogeneous as possible. So of course we are trying to create a classroom with at least let's say 12, 13 countries. On the other hand, the application we do receive that must be approved by the training coordinator, the hierarchical superior, and then as a final stage by the National Coordination Office. So if there are some complaints on the application and selection, of course, well, we would like to welcome everybody on this on the EURES Academy, but of course, if there's something, if there's some declination, of course, then some deny, of course, this is not, of course, coming from the training coordinator, training provider, of course. Another question that many colleagues asked us, especially during the event in Rome, was about a family member or someone coming from some friend or someone close to a participant. Well, of course, a family member can travel together with a participant, and they are welcome. He or she is welcome to stay at the same hotel when possible. But in this case, the training provider are not in the position to book tickets and accommodation for third parties, excepting but training participants. So in that case, participants will have to book tickets and accommodation on their own. This is something very important we would like to stress. We are not in the position to book tickets for other person, excepting but training coordinator. Sorry, participants admitted to the trainings. Regarding variation on the travel plan, well, what we would like to do in the following semester and in the semester coming on is to suggest a specific travel plan. So the travel agency we are working with will, the moment we receive your location and the location of the training, they will be able to propose a travel plan. They will suggest a travel plan well in advance, so at least 6 weeks before the event. So the moment the invitation letter is launched, immediately on that day, they will receive, participants will receive the proposed travel plan. Of course, participants can suggest a different travel plan to reach that specific training location, but in order to guarantee participants' attendance to the training, the moment a travel plan is proposed, and of course, a specific participant is suggesting a different travel plan, that specific travel plan should have some condition, let's say. First of all, it must guarantee a rebooking option. What do we mean? In particular, for connection flight, we saw it won't be allowed to have, for example, different travel companies. For example, I'm having an example. We have a meeting in Rome, okay? You are traveling from Stockholm, okay? There will be a travel connection in Berlin, right? Are you following me? We have, great, I see you nodding. The moment we suggest you a flight with Lufthansa, for example, in that case, there will be a direct connection with the same travel company. And in case of missing the first flight from Stockholm to Berlin, the travel company Lufthansa will protect the participants with another flight of the same company. But if you are suggesting us a flight from Stockholm to Amsterdam with Ryanair and another flight from Amsterdam to Rome by using another company, in that case, the company will not protect participant. So that means in case of missing the flight or something unexpected, that person will remain in Amsterdam. So will not get the chance to go back to Stockholm or to go back unless at its own expenses to Rome. So we would like to stress this part because we would like to suggest to accept new proposal. But of course, we need to consider people must reach the travel location. Another point, of course, the cost of the new travel proposal should not exceed the cost of the initial proposal made by the training provider. This is another important aspect because, of course, we are using public money, public budget, and we need to stick with the rules. We need to be careful on this. Another point, of course, any question? Yeah, Anna Margarita, please.
Just this will be the absolute exception, but let's imagine that for some personal reason, the person realizes that they wouldn't like, so they would like to come back later, and eventually the flight they want to use is more expensive. Can they suggest you to basically not use the return flight from Ernst & Young and book it by themselves?
Yes, absolutely. It is possible.
Okay.
So but in that case, of course, it should be confirmed via email. So there will be
it's at their own responsibility. Yeah.
It's at their own responsibility, of course. We will also cover this part because we would like to stress any possible modification or possible activity to happen. Regarding the additional night, and this of course touched your point, Anna Margarita, let me also say that Lufthansa was not that safe last time for the event in Rome, because there were most of the canceled flight. The one we have to protect once again were Lufthansa's flight because there was a strike at that moment. So I wouldn't say Ryanair sometimes not that bad. But speaking of the serious thing, of course, in case participants want to stay more with having an additional night, it is possible to have an additional night just when there is no chances to reach accommodation, stay on time the moment specific trainings ends. So the moment we have participants, for example, are interested in extra nights when there is no necessity to reach home for example, on Friday. You know, for example, our trainings, they are we start traveling on Monday, and on Thursday afternoon we should travel back home. If there is a necessity, of course, people can stay on Friday, an additional night, and of course that one will be paid by ELA. In case there are no necessities, people can stay, of course, in that location, but those costs will be, but they will be responsible for booking at their own expenses. Bear in mind, it wouldn't be possible very often to book at the same hotel. So in that case, people would be forced to book in another hotel for another location for another time. So, but we will try to send every travel plan really on time, so people wouldn't have so many difficulties in doing so. Are there any questions on these? Honey.
Sorry to ask again, but at the third bullet, the last sentence, shouldn't that be that the there's something that family members or third parties will have to book their accommodation on their own and tickets? It says participants, but you say there is an offer from you as training provider. So is that maybe a little type error, or am I wrong?
Let me. Well, of course,
the last sentence at the third bullet.
Participants will have to book tickets and accommodation on their own. Yeah, I'm talking about family members here. And
so it should be third parties and family members then?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So training provider can only book tickets from the EURES network, not tickets from family members or things like that. So of course, the moment you know about that specific accommodation, of course, you can contact the hotel by saying, well, I would like to include to reserve a specific stay for another member of my family or whatever, and in that case that difference should be paid by the participant.
That's
okay?
what I thought. That's what I thought. But just the word I think was taken for a mix-up. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Anna Margarita.
Actually, I wrote it on the chat, but it's actually the traveling authorization procedures that we're having. Really, to have the travel plan well in advance is really important. So please try to do the best you can about it, because otherwise we've had a situation in the recent past that our colleague could not travel to participate in the road transport workshop because of this. Okay, sorry.
Sure, I will stress this point. We will send 6 weeks in advance the invitation letter, and at the same day the travel proposal to each participant. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Guaranteed. Any other question? No. Okay. So moving on. We have some different from the past regarding the means of transportation. You can reach the location by using train or long distance bus, airplane or car on that case. Personally, I encourage you not to use the car because, of course, it implies, of course, the reimbursement would be very long. Just for your knowledge, so reimbursement timing is very low. So you should be able to see your receipt maybe more than 4 months later. So just a suggestion, but. Since we had a lot of questions regarding the travel by train, I would like to stress this point. So for journeys of less than 400 kilometers, one way according to official distance by rail, rail or long distance bus is considered the adequate means of transport. We had some colleagues asking, well, I don't want to take the airplane to reach Rome, for example, and they were coming from the Netherlands or from Belgium, and because they stressed the point that would like to be more green, you know. But in that case, unfortunately, this is not possible. These are the rules that the European Labour Authority is stating, and I know on a way it may be a contradiction not to use something green, but of course these are the rules. We have to stick with them. So unfortunately, for long distances, travel by air is the only solution here. Air tickets should be booked in the lowest economy class available. So in that case, just in the case duration time is 6 or more hours, business class can be booked. There are no many example of these aspects because there are not so late flights, so long flights, to be honest. But in that case, here we have the rule. Traveling by car or motorcycle, maybe a cruise line. Danielle, I'm afraid cruise line are not on the rules. We should ask Ella if there are some rules about.
It's unfair because I can take a car or a train or a bus to go anywhere. I need to take a plane.
Of course. It would be nice to see you coming from with a motorcycle from the cruise somehow, but I'm afraid it's not possible.
Yeah, I'm afraid.
So participants traveling by car or motorcycle do so at their own risk, and they are fully liable for any accident in that case. So this is why always traveling by car or motorcycle is not very well recommended. So the authority will not accept any request for compensation or reimbursement for damage caused to the participant's car or to a third party. And the use of a private car is refunded on a basis of the flat rate set out at 0.28 euros, so euro cents per kilometer between the place of origin to the place of meeting and back for one person traveling alone. So considering just one person traveling alone. So where two or more persons entitled to reimbursement or travel expenses use the same car, only the person responsible for the car should be reimbursed at 100%. So I know these are silly rules, but we would like to stress the rules because, you know, not to create in the future misunderstandings. Of course, you will receive a document with all the rules together. The Zeppelin balloon would be very nice too. And also more detailed information will follow, so no worries on that. Any question? Any clarification necessary? Okay. Another important aspect are the travel costs. What are the eligible travel costs and the not eligible travel costs? So, airfare taxes should be considered as eligible. Travel agent fees, credit card fees, seat reservation. So you can reserve your own seat reservation upon booking. So just in advance, not after the booking. So after the booking, seat reservation will not be possible. Transport of necessary luggage. Usually we provide at least one hand-in luggage, so you can have a very good kilos for your travels, for your booking, so no problems. It will be anytime guaranteed. And airport check-in fees. These are the eligible travel costs. Non-eligible ones are excess baggage unless justified on grounds of official requirements. I state this one because, for example, we had a request from a colleague. A colleague wanted to she asked us basically an additional baggage for a banner because she wanted to show a banner. Unfortunately, this is not possible because these are the European Commission and per se the European Laboratory rules. Then cost of health, life, and luggage insurance. So luggages cannot be insured. Cancellation, rebooking, or changing fee are not eligible travel costs, but these are not up to you. So meaning that you will not see these travel costs on your own check. So no problems. So the travel company will manage this aspect by showing you the selected new flight regarding the in case of problems, troubles, so cancellation. I'm reading Emma. Since now we live in the COVID era, what happens in the case of participants gets COVID and cannot travel? Thank you for the question, Emma. In that case, of course, participation will be of course there are no costs no cost will be sent to the participants. So the participants will have to send the cancellation form because they will not be in the position to attend the meeting. And per se are other last minute diseases. This is these are the cancellation accepted. Marta, please.
Sorry, I have this question related with the same subject. In our country, we can travel without the compulsory travel insurance. So if some person have the COVID, or as Anna Margareta mentioned, another problem, so we can reimburse from the national travel insurance company the travel fees back, but because the organizers in other organization, so what to do? It's possible to get back, but what to do else?
Well, what it means here is that no cost will be on the participants, because the participation, sorry, the cancellation will be accepted, because of course health problems are always accepted. So no cost. So this is to guarantee that no cost will be asked to participants. Okay. So no matter if participants have a travel insurance or something, just to specify that.
Okay, Emanuela, it's just possible to get back these fees. Just think about that. That maybe it could be organized somewhere, some kind. Thank you.
Depending on the topic, of course, when a travel. Regarding a cancellation coming from I don't know, from Lufthansa, from the travel agency, in that case, sorry, not the travel agency, the travel company, of course, that budget should be reimbursed, of course. But regarding accommodation, for example, and health problems, nor travel companies nor hotels can of course refund tickets or so the booking, but this is a general rule. So in case of health problems, this booking will be lost, and of course it will be a cost granted by the European Labour Authority, and of course this is something we need to consider. It will happen. I'm afraid these are the rules. And I'm just showing you the rules, by the way, so it's not my choice. What else? We have local airport transport by taxi, bus, train, or other public transport means. These will not be reimbursed. So accommodation will be always close to train stations or metro station. Usually it will be in very large cities, hopefully capitals. So there will be good ways of transfer. But of course, these are not eligible travel costs. So the way you reach the hotel from a specific station or airport, these are not not eligible travel costs, unless, let me say, there are limitations in traveling. So giving an example, if the flight lands at 1 in the morning, okay, so there is a very huge delay, and there are no taxis, and there are no train. There's no, you're not in the position to reach the accommodation on time, because there are no more trains. The metro is closed and so on. In that case, you can ask for a reimbursement to the training provider, and of course it will be sent to the European Labour Authority. And reading, is there a new supplier of travel arrangement? What do you mean, Tove, by supplier?
Yeah, who is the travel agent?
Well, we have an internal travel agency now, but this was the last point I wanted to touch. Since we would like to ease the communication, yeah, I repeat myself. Yeah, I stress this point. Travex is not more the travel agency, no more Bruno. And the travel agency has an internal one, an EY internal one, or a BVA internal one. So we will book personally the tickets. And because of that, in every invitation letter, participants will see a personalized contact point. It will be one of the training provider. So the training provider will be the contact point for travels and accommodation, any request participants may have. So this is because it will be a sort of filter with the company. What else? We have car rental and fuel costs, airport and hotel parking costs. I think these are the. Thank you, Anna I try to do the best for the EURES in Action event. Of course, it will be different with 25 people. We will try to, and of course, many of these rules were not set up yet last time. So now we would like to avoid misunderstanding or something happening. Of course, during the EURES in Action event, we had some feedback regarding the travels and the accommodation. We had to follow some rules just for that specific event from the European Labour Authority. Now, for the future, we would like to ease communication in this way. Because of that, everyone will have every classroom training will have a specific contact point. Good with a clarification. There have been a number of questions. Yeah, and I hope you will help us, Jan, also by sharing these new rules. Of course, you will share. We will share with you the official rules. It will be an official template with all information coming on. Okay. Any questions so far? Something popping up to your mind? I don't know. Something. Well, I'm thinking out loud. For example, something that could be possible. We had, for example, a colleague asking about a different location travel plan in Rome. After Rome, she wanted to go to London, for example. Of course, she was free to book a ticket, but at their own expenses and costs. Of course, the training provider in that case cannot book a flight which has a different location. Just to stress. Now I'm thinking something that may be often coming out in the future bookings. Of course, I repeat myself. If you have any other questions, something very specific, just you can also send me an email message. Okay, before we go to the breakout session room, I encourage a 10 minutes coffee break. So we are all well prepared and reinforced for the breakout session we will have. I will spoil a little bit what we have to do. You have received the three agendas. We would like to have your feedback on, and we ask you to be prepared. So now you should have already some ideas, some suggestion on it. So during the coffee break, we will divide you in three breakout session, and Federico will share now on the chat and also via email. So because some of you are not in the position to now I'm reading, sorry, Martin, no change from, no, Seychelles are not possible, are not a chance. I'm really sorry. I would love to go to Seychelles, but I don't know. And so just to say that you will be divided in three breakout sessions, and each group will work on a specific agenda. So I will ask to identify internally someone wishing to share on Teams the specific agenda, so you will be able to work on the agenda, and after that we will have the time to wrap up and to see what are the new suggestions on these agendas. So don't worry, it's not just to say that you will be the only ones modifying the agenda, because of course the training provider will do the job, and of course we will include something new, and we'll have to modify and add something new. We will, of course, this is just to have your opinion on the following trainings we will have. Danielle, I'm afraid that the Canary Islands are quite far to reach, and the European Labour Authority asks us to organize in capitals most of the time. So I'm really sorry. Otherwise, I would suggest Sicily, Palermo, my hometown. You know, it's something doable too, but I'm afraid that we're not in the position to do that. It's still in the UA, I know that, but it's not a capital. So, okay, it's capital of the Canary Islands. You're right. Thank you. So maybe we will see. So but then we need to face too many application from that location. So I will it will still application for other trainings, I'm afraid. Okay, so let's have 10 minutes coffee break, if that's okay. And then we will come back here at 11:31. Okay? Enjoy your coffee.
Hello.
But I'm afraid we need to start the breakout session. So you can see here, you will be divided in breakout rooms. You will suggest how to update these 3 trainings in particular. So what are the topics? Communication tools, matching and placement, and transnational project workshop. So each breakout session has been named as one of the 3 groups. So I invite you to open the selected one once you will be into the breakout session. You have received the email from Federico with the agendas to be updated. So we would like to have at least 35 minutes of brainstorming. If there are more necessity to extend time, we will do that, no problem. So people will be randomly addressed to each breakout session, because everyone should have the chance to, even if the, I don't know, transnational project workshop is not you're not so expert in that one, a common perspective from different countries would be always interesting to know. Tove.
Should we give our opinions on all 3 sessions or just one of them?
Sure. What is important is to, you cannot improve if you not consider also the past. So
since we are divided in 3 groups, that's what I was wondering. Should we concentrate on all 3 of the subjects?
Let's stick with one group per with your own group, then with the group you will be selected at. So okay. So unfortunately, just to better divide. Of course, during the brainstorming time at the end, everyone can speak about the other group. So any comment can be done for each group. Okay. So during the breakout session, let's stick with just one presentation, with just one agenda, right? Okay. Any other question?
Just one remark beforehand. I thought it a bit difficult to just judge on the just only on the agenda. So I've tried, but I thought it a bit difficult if you only see the agenda. Just a small remark beforehand, but we will get there when we come together.
No problem, no problem. I mean, it's if you have already attended that specific training, or if you haven't, it's okay. So what is just I don't know, regarding communication tools, so you can suggest us some topic you would like to address, or matching and placement, some activities that might be successful to, according to your opinion. If you have something on transnational project workshop to suggest, feel free to do so. It's a problem. We are, as I said, a safe environment. So any suggestion, even even if you're not an expert, is more than welcome. Okay.
Yeah, I just made a few remarks before, but just one remark to all of you. That's okay.
Thank you. Okay. I will open the rooms, and we will send you over there. Moment. Okay. See you in at least 35 minutes. We will check every group anyway. Welcome back, everybody.
Yeah, just so you know, I did not cut you off there to go back to the main room. That was Emmanuel. So I'm just going to blame you.
I know, Kevin. So we have to blame on Emmanuel. Can we continue the debate here?
Yeah.
If there are some things to be developed, yes, we will try to. But let's try with by showing the first group, if that's okay. So we don't have enough time to. I'm afraid to. For additional things, but let's start. So let's start first by showing the first outcomes. So, which group would like to start? Any volunteer?
If you want, we can start communication tools. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, I can share my screen so that we can show you what we have done. Perfect. Because we made some comments. Mm-hmm. Give me 1 minute, please. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Good. So we noted the proposed change. Can you hear me? And you can see my screen? Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay. So we had a really good discussion between us, and the suggestions were really good, I think, between us. So a more general comment would have been for each day to add a title with a subject. And of course, we saw that compared to the agendas of the 2 other subjects, our group did not have the moderator or group column so that we know who presented each item on the agenda. So that was one of the comments. Then we considered it important if a training would be hybrid, so that we have the physical and the an online training at the same time to indicate the time zone so that everybody knows the correct time. And then there was a comment that Prodromos can explain better regarding the structure of each day in terms of coffee breaks and the subjects discussed in each of the parts of each day. So Prodromos, can you please say something more on this? Prodromos, are you there? Yeah.
Yes, I'm here. Yes. What we saw that the sessions were divided in 2 parts, a morning part for 1 hour and a midday part for almost 2 hours. Always in the morning, you waste a bit of time until everybody connects correctly and maybe introduces themselves and chat a bit at the beginning. And in midday, we always feel a bit more tired and it's harder to follow a 2-hour session. So instead of 1 hour and 2 hours, 1 presentation in the morning and 2 in the midday, maybe it will be better to do 2 presentations in the morning and only 1 in the midday. So the second of the 3 presentation could happen before the coffee break. That's all.
Thank you.
So I have added, I have made this comment more specific so that we know for the future. Then we suggested that we need some more engagement with our participants even before the training. So we would invite our participants from before, maybe 1 week before or 4 days before the training, to prepare some homework and send their presentations from before. We saw on the agenda that we would be expecting people to present successful communication initiatives at their countries, etc. So it would be good to tell them, yes, we want to see you, we want to hear you, so you have some homework to do. So going on to the second day, the first general comments are the same. So what we saw is that we also want each participant to be engaged after each presentation to avoid them being bored. We said that regarding IT tools, we wanted to include some more information on how to use the EURES portal. We know that there are specific trainings regarding this, but we would like to include some information on this as well. Again, we want to engage participants. Regarding the European Online Job Days, we are mentioning here on the agenda that we will show people how to structure an agenda regarding an EOJD. But we also said we said that we could also give some more information on the platform in general and explain a bit of the process, how to organize an EJD. We know again that there is specific training, but it would be good if we could give some additional information. And regarding the third day, apart from the general comments, regarding the use of the social media, we wanted to present the different approaches on the use of each social media, a different approach on the Facebook, different approach on Instagram, give useful tips on how to improve our communication through the use of each of these social media we're planning to use. And it's important to know the situation in each country. Our colleague from France says it's not LinkedIn, for example, is not used. So it would be a good idea if participants could use to present the use of the social media in their own country, and how to give links to the general EURES Facebook page and not only give importance to the national EURES Facebook pages. And also, we said that it would be important to remain in contact with our participants even after the training somehow. Some examples would be to create a WhatsApp group to keep being engaged with each other, others in a more informal way or a more not so often way to keep in touch with them. So these were the suggestions of group number 1, communication tools. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Well noticed. Anyone would like to comment something from the other groups? Okay. Otherwise, we can move to the next group. Oh, Jan, please.
Yes, it's very good that there is coming more focus to storytelling in social media, because that's what we maybe did not have so much in the last agendas from the last couple of years. And maybe it's also a good idea to mention the EURES community of practice, because there's a lot of good information in it. That's all.
Thank you for the suggestion. Okay. I'm taking notes in the meantime. Shall we move to the next group? Who wants to speak?
Which is the next group?
Yeah, one of the two. I mean, transnational project workshop or matching and placement.
Kevin, do you want me to do it for our group or somebody from our group?
Yes, please, honey. And you are the best, so go for it, please.
No, I just made some notes. We were checking out the transnational project workshop. I was the one who said that there is a work breakdown structure. To us, that was a new topic. We didn't really know what it meant, but we think it's a real good new topic. So it's about, we think about risk management and things like that. So we think that's a good new topic. There was also a comment that it's good that it's only half a day and not an entire day. That is a really good change.
Would you like me to, sorry, Han, would you like me to share the sheets online while you walk through them, so everybody knows what we are talking about?
Yeah, that's maybe good, Kevin. Thank you.
Just let me just get them. Here we are.
So we did not put it in words in the sheets itself, but you see the second presentation is about the work breakdown structure. So in all, we think it's a good adjustment or change and a good topic. We can, I think, go to day 2, Kevin. There was the presentation of promotional promotion materials. That was a remark that was made. There is hardly any promotion material on the EURES site or portals, but also there was mentioned by Marta that is not really fitting in here. She just said it might be good to give some practical information, where to find information, with which tools there are, and which tools to use in a specific project. Also, Kevin missed the promotion of projects within the network. So sharing successes or maybe some mistakes, and there might be some options, or by using the community of practice, or have more often webinars with news from the network, maybe EURES TV or something like that. And Maria said that it's really important to have something about lessons learned to prevent that people make the same mistakes. Also, there's a suggestion that when you are working as a training expert, you can collect information from the network, from colleagues of successful projects, or maybe some lessons learned in projects to present in this in the workshop. Then it was mentioned that 5 minutes is too short to explain a project, and that maybe you could plan some more time or do it in breakout rooms to present it in a smaller group. Also was a suggestion, when you are having it on site, that it might be possible to visit a project within a country, or when the workshop is online, of course, invite one of the participants in a project, so they can tell what was really okay, what could be adjusted, or was a lesson learned. And the last suggestion was to skip the pre-work, because 5 minutes is too short to explain really a good presentation, or give a good presentation of a project, and change the pre-work for an interactive topic, so to engage involvement of all participants. Can somebody adjust something or correct me if I told something not okay, or give something extra? From my group, our group, nobody?
I think you did great, Han. Perfect.
Thanks.
Perfect.
Okay, so
No,
that's it.
it's good.
Perfect. Good.
Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you very much. So let's move to the last group.
Thanks, Kevin, for the support.
Welcome.
Okay. Matching and placement. Who's gonna speak?
Anna, your mic.
Sorry for that. I was simply going on and thinking that you were listening to me. I was saying that I may have a brief overview, because I'm not that an expert in the topic, but in any case, I have a brief overview on what we mentioned, and eventually, if other colleagues, Jan and colleagues who have intervened during the group session, if you want to complete, please do so. Okay, am I sharing my window? Yeah. Okay, yeah. It's not so visible because we added comments, so it's not as clear as in the first group. But in any case, to start with, in the very first place, we were a little bit lost because we were not so sure whether this was the advanced training working group, the advanced training course on matching and placement, or whether it was the basic one. then we got to the conclusion, well, it's the basic one. So
Yeah,
let's
correct.
focus on being basic a bit more.
Correct. Correct.
In any case, as a structure for sharing this agenda with the participants, we believe it would be a good adding to include as well the goals for the training, and you have some contents which you include on the EURES training catalog, namely the topics, the contents that will be covered and so on, which somehow are not fully reflected in this agenda. So this is something you should maybe try to address, and besides having the agenda eventually complementing as well with some first part in the agenda with the main goal for the training and the specific goals for this training. And actually, one of the things that we realized was that it was not that clear for us whether the underlying objective of this training was to find a common ground, because what we realize is that we are having quite different practices in the different countries, between Nordic and Southern countries, between Central Europe countries and in the Western and Eastern countries. We really have different practices in terms of recruitment, matching, placement. In my perspective, the recruitment word is missing here, but this is me. But for instance, this is probably a different understanding, which is already reflected in here. But also because each one of our countries has a different organizational model. Some are organized as services to employers, services to job seekers, and within these categories, they include both incoming and outgoing. Some have incoming and outgoing teams. Some have country-specific organizations, so experts in working with certain countries, and they work both perspectives. So the way each one of us organizes itself to work on matching is really a little bit different. And of course, we also have the issue about having people or teams who are fully engaged in EURES activities, and in other countries, the vast majority of the EURES advisors is not working full time. So all of this is reflected on the way we work. And eventually, maybe it would be important to try, as a final goal to this training, to try to find a basic common ground on the understanding of these concepts. And it's not such an easy task, even though this is a basic training. So we should also have a role a place to share share practices, because as we've seen, they're quite different. For instance, probably northern countries are more focused on customer satisfaction indicators, and this is something we haven't mentioned, but this is true. And southern countries, for instance, we at least in Portugal, we need as bread to our mouths, as we're using in Portuguese, information about results and placements. And this is also reflected on the way that we work. And we're very much focused on having, or we insist a lot without that much success, on having feedback on who has been placed and etc. And probably our colleagues from Nordic countries, Central Europe countries, and so on, also due to GDPR issues, are not focused on that. So this is really the first. If this is a basic training, people will need to understand that we're working on a transnational environment, and working in a transnational environment implies having to have some respect by others' way of working, and trying to find a common ground, a place for understanding in this process. So clearly, we believe that concepts have different meanings for different countries. So eventually, in terms of the homework, it would be important that the pre-work would include eventually the understanding that you have at the national level of each one of these concepts eventually. And we didn't mention this because we were not navigating that much towards the end of the agenda, but We can see here that you have different moments to share the pre-work. And I would say, by the way, you had here pre-training, and I would advise you to make it clear to use pre-work instead of pre-training, because it's different concepts within the training, and maybe it's better not to mix it up. But maybe it would be much more interesting to include what we bring from the pre-work to the discussion exercises, to the group exercises, than to have everyone in a separate way to sharing the pre-work. And but this has not been discussed in the group. I'm just learning from others as well at the moment. And maybe I would ask other colleagues to complement, because we would have some other comments here. But no, this is a very important one. One important issue that we think should be addressed in all of the trainings related to matching and placement is basically the white elephant issue at the moment. Working based on shortages and surpluses is a complicated issue at the moment within EURES, because most of our countries at the current stage, we are having exactly the same shortages. So it's quite difficult to propose activities, matching activities, and even recruitment projects in areas where everyone of us has shortages. The Netherlands mentioned the reciprocity concept, which is quite important. So if we should handle these things bilaterally and eventually give the opportunity to others to also share their own vacancies and so on. But I would pass on the word to my colleagues if there is a little bit of time, because I think what I could share, I shared.
Thank you, Anna Margarita. Anyone would like to add something from the group?
No, thank you. It was quite clear, I think, and maybe there are comments from the other people.
Maybe Eleni, who had have the opportunity to speak.
Eleni, are you there?
Yeah, maybe not.
Greece? No points from Greece. Sorry. Okay.
Hi, can you hear me?
Oh yes, yeah, you're there.
Yes, I have some technical problems because at the moment I do not also have the chat feature. I don't know. I cannot see any chat messages. Just want to inform you. I just want also to add that specifically in the training, when tools are introduced, they should be aware that they should be also applicable to our countries. Because if you introduce a tool and you can use it, it's not useful for us in order to support the job seekers and employers.
Perfect, thank you. I see a raised hand.
Oh, it's just yeah, short comment. I think you wrapped up very well, Anna. It was what we talked about. Well, just addition to be more practical in the end, share the practice and have some discussion, maybe on behalf of the theory, what have you done? How can you solve this problem? Do you have suggestions? Be kind of practical so that everybody leave the session or the training with an idea that, okay, I got some good advices on my way home. And I just have one more comment concerning the countries. I don't think the bulking in Nordic countries and southern countries and Central European countries is valid anymore. I believe that countries are working maybe similar due to similar politics on welfare, whatever, but each single EURES colleague is having maybe a different situation because of the organization and because of the focus and so on. So it's quite individual, actually, according to my experience. That's from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Elena. Very important also to mention this point. So thank you everybody. Very interesting. We will we have taken notes of the comments, and of course we ask the colleagues who took notes to send us the Word file so we can also work on that. I will just copy here the link for the survey for this event, for this session, so you can also suggest us how to improve and to evaluate the job done. we will also of course send the satisfaction questionnaire via email. So we are short of time, so thank you everybody for this very interesting session, for all your contribution. For any question, we are here at your disposal. Of course, we will share materials and also additional information, communication plan, communication templates, travel procedures, everything with you, with the colleagues of the network. So don't worry, you were just the first one to be informed about. So I hope to see you very soon next semester, and have a good lunchtime.
Bye-bye.
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 Have a great summer.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Nice
Thank you,
vacation.
Manuel. See you later.
Bye.
Thank you.
Take care.
Have a nice summer.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy the summer.
Have a nice summer.
See you all.